Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. So, Franchon Crews-Dezurn regains the WBC super-middleweight title. She also picks up the WBA interim title. I don't know why we need that, because as far as I'm aware, Savannah Marshall is still the WBA champ. But first of all, before we go any further, the WBC stripped Savannah Marshall within a few months of her beating Franchon. I've no idea why. I don't know what rather idiotic excuse they had. Let's bear in mind that they allowed Jamal Charlo to keep his middleweight title for, I think, without fighting for about two and a bit years. So why they stripped Savannah, I don't know, but they did. But let's take nothing away from Franchon Crews-Dezurn, who was the rank underdog in her fight with Shadasia Green. Shadasia Green, 13 wins, no defeats, no draws, coming in with 11 KOs. Very high knockout percentage for any female fighter. And she was smashing through the division, 34 years of age, looking the part. She calls herself the Sweet Terminator. And she really had, she knocked out Ellen Sederus in 6 rounds. That was a really good win. Ellen at the time only had 1 defeat in 9 fights. And Shadasia looked like she could well be the one to, go charging after Savannah Marshall or maybe Clarissa Shields. But she got upset. And Franchon Crews-Dezurn has been written off before. She lost her debut kind of famously to Clarissa. Came all the way back and became undisputed super middleweight title. And now she's got one of the belts back. So she'll be the one looking for the rematch with Savannah. Now, both these ladies, very powerful looking women, both of them quite tall, they're both 5'8", and to be honest, this was not an entertaining fight. It was a grueling, hard, mauling fight. Very little excitement, very little flashiness. If you've seen Franchon before, you will know that she goes forward, throwing huge hooks, mauling, trying to rough up the opponent, using her physical strength. And very often in Franchon's fights, after a few rounds, she'll look absolutely knackered, but she'll come back. She'll just keep going. She's got a fantastic engine. Shadasia Green, as was predicted, well, you would have thought she would use her sharpshooting, her heavy hands, bang with the jab, fire the backhand. She did none of that. It's a real show. She was a disappointment, I've got to be honest. Both these ladies orthodox fighters. But Shadasia, I don't know whether she was taken by the occasion or whether, I don't know, perhaps she was just trying to be too precise, but she neglected the jab. When she did fire individual punches, you could see what she was trying to do. She was jabbing to the stomach. There was the odd body punch in there. But she wasn't hanging anything off those single punches, those single lead punches. And to be honest with you, Franchon, who, isn't going to be mistaken for, anyone slick. She is a crude, mauling slugger. She just got in close and was just, she was just, ragging her way to a points victory, as she often does, over a woman who she couldn't really bully. I don't think Shadasia was being bullied, at least not physically. Maybe mentally there was some element of it there. But she was just landing more punches. I think after about 8 rounds, Franchon had thrown about 100 more punches. But Shadasia, when she did throw, she was landing. And I'm sure she woke up the following morning after this fight and thought, if only I'd done more, I'd be WBC champ. It was the industry, the output, that won the mauling, rugged, tough Franchon Crews-Dezurn, one of her belts back. Franchon, 36 years old now, shows no sign of slowing down. You know all about her, very sort of flashy out of the ring, very sort of garish attire. She's got a bit of a singing career going as well, has a nice voice, sings very nicely. I think she's got things like, like a perfume out and all this stuff. So you would think, well, this lady, having lost to Savannah, she's going to concentrate on her other interests, make money that way. Not a bit of it. Again, she was a rank underdog against Shadasia Green with all those knockouts that Shadasia has. But she came to fight. She came to win that belt. And to be honest with you, she seemed to want it more than Shadasia, who, I mean, again, it was the 10-2s and not the 12-3s. So, which in this case, because this was a very dull fight, you were thinking, okay, 10-2, that's enough of that. But it didn't favour, it doesn't ever favour a female fighter who works on precision, who likes to build into the fight, who likes to, you know, get the range control, maybe have a look in the first round or two, because suddenly you've had a look in two 2-minute rounds, you're in the third round, you know, that's a fifth of the fight gone already, you've barely had a look at the opponent. 10-2s does favour busier women, you know, women that are going to come out there and try and, you know, ragdoll the opponent and just win on sheer attrition. And to be honest, I think that's what Franchon did. She won on absolute attrition. There was no real technique. There very rarely is with her. It was low. Technically, it was very low level stuff. But I was disappointed with Shadasia Green. I thought she'd show a lot more. This was her chance, and to be honest with you, she kind of blew it. But she can come back if she wants to. And if she wants an example of how to come back, she's only got to look at Franchon Crews-Dezurn, you know. So I don't know if you saw this fight. It wasn't a good one. It wasn't entertaining. But at the same time, Franchon puts herself back in the mix. Shadasia's got some rebuilding to do. I mean, the cat's out of the bag now. 13 wins with 11 KOs, no defeats, no draws. Looks flashy. But then when you get outpointed, albeit by, you know, a former undisputed champ, it does set you back a bit. And she's going to have to go for the look to rebuild, go for some bigger names, and she's got to look impressive. She's got to start letting those hands go. She's got to start quicker, and she's got to start being. The output's got to be increased, definitely. Even if you're only hitting arms and shoulders and elbows, you know, because it's 10-2s, the judges are going to be looking at stuff like that, and she just didn't do enough. And, you know, to be honest with you, when you've got Franchon Crews-Dezurn in your opposing corner, grabbing hold of you, wrestling you, yeah, it's difficult. But no one said boxing's easy. No one said life's easy. You're just going to have to go for it. And, you know, Franchon has got such a horrible style. I mean, Savannah Marshall did very well to control, or largely control Franchon, keep her on the end of the jab and everything. That's what Shadasia should have been doing. But unfortunately for her, she didn't do it. But anyway, if you've got any comments, leave them below. Wasn't a great fight, but hey, we got ourselves Savannah's got an old foe's got a belt back. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Please hit the like button as well. It only takes a second, and it's much appreciated. Thanks very much for your time as always, and of course, as always, I'll read your comments as well and answer as many as I can. Okay, take care for now, ladies and gentlemen. I'm out.